Yo, what up, everyone? My name is Dom, and we're here to talk about unusual options activity. All right, disclaimer: this video is for educational purposes only. The statements made in this programming are solely the opinion of the show and are not a specific inducement to make an investment. One must perform their own due diligence and realize that all investments carry risk. There's no guarantee of profit. All right, let's move on to the trades here that I have been eyeing and that I am in or looking at. So, first one I want to bring up today is Meta. Now, if you don't know, this one had some pretty good earnings last night. The stock was up today. You can see it was up about 14%, up around $30. We'll take a look at the chart in a second here, and I'll show you kind of why I'm trying to play this one from the short side. So if we just take a look at the option chain here, we can see it's kind of a little bit of a wash here. There's a bunch of calls that are trading. So this is the volume once again. This is the open interest, the amount of contracts that are open, that are outstanding. These are options. If you don't know what options are, they can be incredibly risky. So please take the time to learn options, or you can also trade the stocks as well. But remember, this is just for educational purposes. So you can see here, it's kind of a little bit of a wash here. They just had earnings. Normally around earnings, there's a ton of options that trade, especially these shorter dated ones. These expire tomorrow. So these can be incredibly risky. You got to day trade these around. What I was doing today is I saw some nice trades here in these. This Friday expiration, 237.5 calls here. So I was kind of day trading these a couple of times throughout the day, but the stock was kind of just chopping around. And we made some good profit, but you can see here there's 42,000 contracts traded, open interest of about 35. I dug into the option time and sales, and I saw some good trades here for these puts. So I was day trading the puts around a little bit, made some money. And actually, I went short the stock towards the open of the day. So I'm actually short Meta, and we'll take a look at the chart and we'll kind of see why here. You can see here that this stock has had, obviously it's fallen a lot. And then up to this year, 2023 starting, it has had a huge run. I think it's up about 100%. So that's a pretty big run here. You can see here that we filled some of these gaps. These were huge gaps down on earnings. This was a gap up on earnings here. And this was today the gap up on earnings. You can see that because it's a red candle, we opened higher and we closed lower. So that's what that red candle means. Obviously, the stock still closed up 13%, but relative to where we opened, we closed lower than that. That's what the red candle means. So right off the bat, that's kind of a negative for me. Also, the stock is getting extremely overbought here. You can see from this RSI, if I pull this up, this is just a momentum indicator showing how overbought or oversold the stock is. You can see here below 30 is about pretty oversold. On these big gaps down, we were getting pretty oversold. Also, one other thing I'm seeing in this chart is we're seeing some RSI divergence here. So whenever you see divergence between momentum indicators and the stock price, you can see the stock price is going higher, but the RSI is actually going lower. Same here with the MACD. The on-balance volume is actually continuing higher, so that's a positive for the stock, but I tend to focus on these two a little bit more here, and it looks like we're approaching some resistance here. So it looks like we just about maybe filled this gap here from the earnings down. Stocks usually fill gaps, so that's definitely something to watch out for. It looks like we filled it, if not filled it today, just very close here. We're at some resistance here. You can see this high here, about 236 is some resistance. Looks like we came through that and probably closed at it or a little bit lower today as I zoom in the chart. Overall, I think this stock is just pretty overbought here. I think it's a good trade from the short side, in my opinion. I'm short the stock. I'm dabbling in the options, day trading in the options a little bit. I'm not exactly sure when the stock is going to fall, but you can see here on the last earnings pop here, we did have a nice pullback, about a pullback of about $20 to $30 here. So I'm looking to capitalize on that. I think Meta is a little overextended here. The valuation is about in line with the market, maybe a little bit more expensive, but I think we've just had too much of a run here. This is a little bit of a trade. It's a little overbought, and I'm looking to play from the short side and make some money here. So next trade I want to bring up is a little bit speculative here. It's Plug Power. Now this one I'm going to focus more on the options here. You can see Plug Power doesn't trade nearly as many options as Meta. Now, this is a small cap stock. I think around $1 or $2 billion in market cap, probably less than that now because it's all the way down to $8. I brought this one up on the channel before a while ago. You can see here in these May 5th expiration options, we saw some nice institutional buyers coming in here, and they're buying these May 5th expiration 9-strike calls. The stock is right at about 9, so they're buying the at-the-money call next Friday expiration. You can see about 19,000, a little under 19,000 contracts trade, open interest of about 907. So we like to see large volume and small open interest with buying orders. That means we can prove with high certainty that these are buy to open orders, not buy to close, because you can't close out contracts that aren't already open. So that's something you got to learn with options. If you guys got any questions about this, leave some comments down below. More than happy to share what I know and educate on this whole process here. So we're looking for institutional buyers coming in, large volume, low open interest. They're supposedly the smart money. Obviously, all these trades do not work out here. I'm not in this one. Saw this one after the close, after I was doing some research here. Now, one thing I want to point out about the chart here is obviously you want to trade with the chart to some extent. But obviously, when things get too overextended, like how I think with Meta, I'm going to try to play that from the short side. When things get a little oversold here with Plug, I'm going to try to play it from the long side here. You can see some of this classic RSI divergence here. The stock was about $11. The RSI was below 30. Now we're at about $9, and the RSI is actually at 40. So you can see the RSI has a little bit of an uptrend here, and the stock is still going down. So like I said before, usually the stock will follow the trend of the relative strength index, the momentum indicator. So that's something to note here. I think this stock is pretty oversold here. I like this divergence here. One thing to note is they have earnings on May 8th. I will definitely be out by then. They were buying the May 5th, so they're not going to be in for earnings either because these calls expire before earnings. So if I was trading this one, I would not go beyond that because I probably would not want to be in the stock for earnings. It's just a quick in and out trade. Look to make about 50 to 100% in this market. You kind of got to take gains where you can because we're coming out of a bear market or we're going to re-enter a bear market. A lot of people have their own opinion. That's not what we're here to talk about today. We're looking to capitalize on the market we have and trade the market we have, try to make money wherever we can. So if you got any questions, please leave them down below in the comments. More than happy to help you guys out and educate you with the information I know. Make sure to smash that like button if you enjoyed the video. Make sure to subscribe. It's always appreciated. We'll see you in the next one.